may not prove a welcome companion?" "You are no stranger, Master Pathfinder," returned Cap, "and no one can be more welcome than yourself. We were talking of you but a moment ago, and when friends speak of an absent man, he can guess what they have said." "I ask no secrets. Every man has his enemies, and I have mine, though I count neither you, Master Cap, nor pretty Mabel here among the number. As for the Mingoes, I will say nothing, though they have no just cause to hate me." "That I'll answer for, Pathfinder, for you strike my fancy as being well disposed and upright. There is a method, however, of getting away from the enmity of even these Mingoes, and if you choose to take it, no one will more willingly point it out than myself, without a charge for my advice either." "I wish no enemies, Saltwater," for so the Pathfinder had begun to call Cap, having, insensibly to himself, adopted the term, by translating the name given him by the Indians in and about the fort. "I wish no enemies. I'm as ready to bury the hatchet with the Mingoes as with the French, though you know that it depends on one greater than either of us so to turn the heart as to leave a man without enemies." "By lifting your anchor and accompanying me down to the coast, friend Pathfinder, when we get back from this short cruise on which we are bound, you will find yourself beyond the sound of the war whoop, and safe enough from any Indian bullet." "And what should I do on the Saltwater? Hunt in your towns? Follow the trails of people going and coming from market, and ambush dogs and poultry? You are no friend to my happiness, Master Cap, if you would leave me out of the shades of the woods, to put me in the sun of the clearings." "I do not propose to leave you in the settlements, Pathfinder, but to carry you out to sea, where a man can only be said to breathe freely. Mabel will tell you that such was my intention, before a word was said on the subject." "And what does Mabel think would come of such a change? She knows that a man has his gifts, and that it is as useless to pretend to others as to withstand them that come from Providence. I am a hunter, and a scout, and a guide, Saltwater, and it is not in me to fly so much in the face of heaven as to try to become anything else. Am I right, Mabel? Or are you so much a woman as to wish to see a nature altered?" "I would wish to see no change in you, Pathfinder," Mabel answered, with a cordial sincerity and frankness that went directly to the hunter's heart. "And much as my uncle admires the sea, and great as is all the good that he thinks may come of it, I could not wish to see the best and noblest hunter of the woods transformed into an admiral. Remain what you are, my brave friend, and you need fear nothing short of the anger of God." "Do you hear this, Saltwater? Do you hear what the sergeant's daughter is saying? And she is much too upright and fair-minded and pretty not to think what she says. So long as she is satisfied with me as I am, I shall not fly in the face of the gifts of Providence by striving to become anything else. I may seem useless here in a garrison, but when we get down among the Thousand Islands, there may be an opportunity to prove that a sure rifle is sometimes a godsend." "You are then to be of our party?" said Mabel, smiling so frankly and so sweetly on the guide that he would have followed her to the end of the earth. "I shall be the only female, with the exception of one soldier's wife, and shall feel none the less secure, Pathfinder, because you will be among our protectors." "The Sergeant would do that, Mabel, though you were not his kin. No one will overlook you. I should think your uncle here would like an expedition of this sort, where we shall go with sails, and have a look at an inland sea." "Your inland sea is no great matter, Master Pathfinder, and I expect nothing from it. I confess, however, I should like to know the object of the cruise, for one does not wish to be idle, and my brother-in-law, the Sergeant, is as close-mouthed as a Freemason. Do you know, Mabel, what all this means?" "Not in the least, uncle. I dare not ask my father any questions about his duty, for he thinks it is not a woman's business; and all I can say is, that we are to sail as soon as the wind will permit, and that we are to be absent a month." "Perhaps Master Pathfinder can give me a useful hint, for a voyage without an object is never pleasant to an old sailor." There is no great secret, Saltwater, concerning our port and object, though it is forbidden to talk much about either in the garrison. I am no soldier, however, and can use my tongue as I please, though as little given as another to idle conversation. I hope, still, as we sail so soon, and you are both to be of the party, you may as well be told where you are to be carried. You know that there are such things as the 1,000 Islands, I suppose, Master Cap?" "Ay, what are so-called hereaway, though I take it for granted that they are not real islands, such as we fall in with on the ocean, and that the 1,000 means some such matter as 2 or 3. My eyes are good, and yet have I often been foiled in trying to count them very islands." "Ay, I've known people who couldn't count beyond a certain number. Your real land birds never know their own roosts, even in a landfall at sea. How many times have I seen the beach, and houses and churches, when the passengers have not been able to see anything but water? I have no idea that a man can get fairly out of sight of land on fresh water. The thing appears to me to be irrational and impossible." "You don't know the lakes, Master Cap, or you would not say that. Before we get to the 1,000 Islands, you will have other notions of what nature has done in this wilderness." "I have my doubts whether you have such a thing as a real island in all this region." "We'll show you hundreds of them. Not exactly 1,000, perhaps, but so many that eye cannot see them all, nor tongue count them." "I'll engage, when the truth comes to be known, they'll turn out to be nothing but peninsulas, or promontories, or continents, though these are matters, I dare say, of which you know little or nothing. But, islands or no islands, what is the object of the cruise, Master Pathfinder?" "There can be no harm in giving you some idea of what we are going to do. Being so old a sailor, Master Cap, you've heard, no doubt, of such a port as Frontenac?" "Who hasn't? I will not say I've ever been inside the harbor, but I've frequently been off the place." "Then you are about to go upon ground with which you are acquainted. These great lakes, you must know, make a chain, the water passing out of one into the other, until it reaches Erie, which is a sheet off here to the westward, as large as Ontario itself. Well, out of Erie the water comes, until it reaches a low mountain like, over the edge of which it passes." "I should like to know how the devil it can do that." "Why, easy enough, Master Cap," returned Pathfinder, laughing, "seeing that it is only to fall downhill. Had I said the water went up the mountain, there would have been nature agin it; but we hold it no great matter for water to run downhill, that is, fresh water." Ay, but you speak of the water of a lake's coming down the side of a mountain. It's in the teeth of reason, if reason has any teeth." Well, we will not dispute the point. But what I've seen, I've seen. After getting into Ontario, all the water of all the lakes passes down into the sea by a river, and in the narrow part of the sheet, where it is neither river nor lake, lie the islands spoken of. Now Frontenac is a post of the Frenchers above these same islands, and, as they hold the garrison below, their stores and ammunition are sent up the river to Frontenac, to be forwarded along the shores of this and the other lakes, in order to enable the enemy to play his devilries among the savages, and to take Christian scalps. "And will our presence prevent these horrible acts?" demanded Mabel, with interest. "It may or it may not, as Providence wills. Lundy, as they call him, he who commands this garrison, sent a party down to take a station among the islands, to cut off some of the French boats, and this expedition of ours will be the second relief. As yet they've not done much, though 2 bateaux loaded with Indian goods have been taken; but a runner came in last week and brought such tidings that the Major is about to make a last effort to circumvent the knaves. Jasper knows the way, and we shall be in good hands, for the Sergeant is prudent, and of the first quality at an ambushment. Yes, he is both prudent and alert." "Is this all?" said Cap contemptuously. "By the preparations and equipments, I had thought there was to be a forced trade in the wind, and that an honest penny might be turned by taking an adventure. I suppose there are no shares in your freshwater prize money?" "Anan?"